Hey, this is Mike from the Run Testers, and this is our first run review of the Puma Magnify Nitro SP. So before getting into that first run test, let's get through those key details about the Puma Magnify Nitro SP. It's priced at £110 in the UK and $140 in the US. The Magnify is best described as a max cushion shoe, so putting it in a category with shoes like the Hoka Oni Bondi 7, the New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 V11 and the Saucony Triumph 19. In Puma's collection, it sits above the Run Testers Daily Trainer fave, the Velocity Nitro, and below the speedier Deviate Nitro. It weighs between 250 grams and 300 grams and has a 38mm heel stack height and 29mm stack height in the forefoot. There's Puma's nitrogen-infused nitro foam in the midsole to provide that responsive and cushioned feel, which is joined by EVA-based Pro Foam Light to boost that cushioning and overall durability. On the outsole, there's Puma's Puma Grip, which impressed us on its Velocity Nitro and Deviate Nitro shoes, with an engineered mesh upper featuring Puma's CoolApt cooling technology to keep things cool on your run. So my one run in this was a basically very easy paced 5 mile run, and that was kind of a 8-minute mile pace. Essentially I've got a big marathon training run planned in, so I wanted to kind of take it easy, and ultimately this was a bit of a bonus run for me, mainly because I was a big fan of the Velocity Nitro and I was keen to get out in another Puma shoe. But I think actually at that kind of easy and kind of moderate pace, which I kind of picked it up in places, that's kind of where this shoe really is best suited. I will start with the upper first, which generally was fine. It was comfortable. You get a kind of snug but not really kind of tight locked in fit, which is kind of what I expect from a kind of daily trainer kind of max cushioning shoe anyway. What I will say is kind of it's very spacious up top in the kind of toe box, which is kind of reminds me of what I got on or felt in the Velocity Nitro, where you're almost worried that maybe there's a bit too much space there, but actually it's not something you notice once you get moving, and actually your feet, your toes aren't flailing around, and there's too much going on there. So for me, kind of a nice spacious upper, a lot of padding, I think, as well. These laces are nice and soft. You've got kind of decent kind of padding on the tongue here as well. Also in the heel collar as well, the back and the sides. You've got this kind of heel pad here around the back, which obviously I think offers a bit more in terms of stability and control in this shoe. But what I do think maybe, and also the fact that it's a kind of quite a heavy stacked shoe as well, it's a little bit heavy, or I felt a little bit heavy at the back there. But ultimately, I think for me, a relatively snug fitting shoe and upper. Felt comfortable overall, but a little bit heavy, I think, for me as well. In terms of the feeling of running in this shoe, I will say that there's definitely characteristics here of the Puma Velocity Nitro, in the sense that obviously you have that nitro foam in the midsole still, which I think in the Velocity Nitro, I think creates something that was very responsive, but also very snappy and felt like something you could run kind of quick in. Now I think you get a little bit of that liveliness in here, definitely when you get up on your toes, where that kind of stack height is a little bit lower in comparison to what it is at the heel. And that's also kind of counteracted by the fact that you've got that Pro Foam Light kind of EVA based material below that, which offers something a little bit firmer. Obviously means you're getting something a little bit more durable, but actually you're getting, I think, a more kind of controlled, kind of stable kind of feel, and that's what I kind of felt in that run. It felt very consistent in that pace, and even when I was kind of picking up kind of up to a kind of moderate pace in places, it still felt very controlled, very reliable, very consistent, I think is a word that I would probably use. So in terms of the outsole, it's a Puma Grip rubber outsole again, which was great in the Velocity Nitro. I ran on dry pavement, hot conditions, no kind of slipping. The grip feels great. I think it's going to feel very nice and durable as well. I think it's going to hold up for a while. So for me, no complaints from the outsole point of view on that run. So I have to finish off by talking about the colourway on this shoe, which I have to say is up there with one of the most outrageous looking colourways or shoes I've had on my feet this year. Puma kind of put out a bit of spiel about these kind of many kind of different colours representing runners running together across the globe. I mean, it's a very psychedelic look. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I quite like it. I like the fact that Puma's tried to do something a little bit different. It definitely stands out from that perspective. But yeah, as I said, it's not going to be for everyone. I mean, it's even got glitter around the sides of this shoe as well, which, I mean, you know, there's reflective elements in here that, you know, will make it a little bit nicer to run at night. But yeah, it's out there. It's a little bit leery. I kind of like my shoes a little bit leery. I kind of like it. But yeah, it's not going to be for everyone. But I kind of like that Puma's done something a little bit different here. So my verdict on the Puma Magnify Nitro SP, first and foremost, a comfortable shoe to run in, maybe a little bit heavier than I prefer, but overall a comfortable shoe. Cushion, I think nicely cushioned, felt responsive. I think there's a little bit of snap and liveliness in that shoe, you know, partly down to that kind of nitro foam that Puma's kind of so effectively used in some of its other shoes. But then that's kind of counteracted, I think, by the kind of pro foam like kind of EVA based material you've got in here as well. That adds, I think, a little bit more durability, but also a little bit of firmness, I think, in that ride as well. No complaints about that Puma grip outsole. You know, I think was great at the Velocity Nitro, and once again, it's good to see it on another shoe. I think what will be really interesting for me is how that kind of extra heaviness that I notice kind of works across longer distances. Also, how well that ride works kind of on those longer kind of mileage as well. Don't have much kind of doubts about the durability of the shoe, but definitely how comfortable it's going to be when I kind of up the pace maybe, and up the mileage as well. So, but definitely some positives and definitely some areas that I'm kind of keen to see how it will kind of pan out once I put, you know, a fair few more miles in them. So in terms of the other shoes that I've tested that I feel kind of offer similar things to what this Puma shoe is aiming to kind of deliver, I think of things like the New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 V11, maybe something like the Brooks Ghost 14, maybe also the Saucony Triumph 19, which I've just started kind of testing. In terms of the New Balance, I think similarly you're getting a really nice shoe, you're getting an upper, which I personally didn't absolutely love and had a few issues with, but I know the rest of the team really like the upper. In terms of the kind of experience running in that New Balance shoe, it feels you're getting something, you're getting a nice level kind of cushioning, but you're also getting something that's a little bit firm and feels like a really kind of strong kind of beginner's runner choice. And I think it's a similar story with the Puma, I think, here, based on that kind of first run. With the Brooks, I definitely think you're getting a nicer looking shoe here. I think it's a little bit more lively in terms of what you're getting from Puma's midsole, and generally what it's like to run a little bit quicker in this shoe in comparison, just on that first run again. And then the Saucony Triumph 19, which I've just started running in, I think with the Saucony shoe, it's a little bit softer, that cushioning. The upper, I think, feels a little bit more snug in comparison to the Puma, and it's also lighter, definitely. You know, you don't have that extra kind of weight that I think you get on the Puma shoe, particularly around the kind of heel area. But I think it kind of sits quite nicely in those category of shoes, and I think I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how it gets on, particularly in those kind of longer runs where I think this could be a really kind of strong option. But right now, I think it kind of sits really nicely with those other kind of max cushioning options around this price point. So there you have it. That is our first run review of the Puma Magnify Nitro SP. Now we will be doing a full review of this shoe, but if you've got any questions so far on our testing or other shoes that you want to see us compare it to, let us know in the comments. As always, like and subscribe, hit that little bell to find out about our latest videos, and yeah, we'll see you for the next Run Testers video.